Greetings. This is EJ, the Automotive Detail Innovator or Detailing Innovator. This subject is one of the subjects I don't really like talking about. It has something to do with automotive detailing and how people actually get trained. And I know with me being in the automotive detailing trade professionally means when I first started getting paid and started in 1980. It's a lot of things that I probably should think about before I even make the statement I'm gonna make or make reference, or some might say criticize or put down, however you wanna relay it or however you take the statement I'm about to get ready and make. Or I guess it's just how you take it. I'm just gonna be honest. It's not something I really, it's not a subject that I really care to talk about, but I care about automotive detailing, right? I cared about automotive detailing way before I started receiving the bucks, the big bucks, to doing it. And I know everybody that's gotten involved in any kind of line of work, especially if it started off as a hobby where you wasn't making no money, but you enjoyed doing it anyway. And you was able to take that hobby that you enjoyed doing, that you wasn't receiving no type of residuals, no type of funds for it, and turn that into a trade to where you could get paid. That had to be the next second level, because you took it from like doing it enough to do it and not get any money, but a good feeling out of doing it because you like doing it, to the next level to where you getting paid to do something that you like to do. Now, somewhere down the line, during those process, maybe you might even got into it because you saw it was money involved, and the money aspect was the only thing you cared about, and you didn't care about having no kind of integrity. You didn't even care about really being good or trying to master the trade. Maybe you just wanted to learn just enough to get the bucks. To a degree, I could understand that, because I grew up in a time to where I was always told, be a jack of all trades but master none, because in order to master something, 9 times out of 10, you got to go to some form of trade school or schooling, maybe even some college, and then at that point, you still might not get what you feel is right, but what you learned how to do. But if you are master, if you are jack of all trades and you master none, then you could allow yourself to take a little less money and know you get that money mainly because you're not mastering that one thing, or maybe that job description or that particular business is not paying you to be a master at doing that particular job. So maybe you would take a little less money, all right? I didn't learn automotive detailing like that. I didn't base it on money. I based it on the simple principle. When I got my first bicycle, I wanted to have the cleanest bike in the community. At that time, I was living, or my family was living inside the Mobile, Alabama, Orange Grove Housing Projects community. A lot of things that happened in my life started to really happen, really shape who I end up becoming in the Orange Grove Housing Projects community. I bought my first bicycle in 1974. I was 13 years old, and that's when I first started detailing. I detailed, I didn't get no money. I just done it for the satisfaction of being able to perform automotive detailing. I elevated that trade on until 1980. It started making me actual money. 1980 was the first time I got a job at a dealership in my hometown of Mobile, Alabama, working at a dealership that paid me to perform automotive detailing. At that point, from 1974 to 1978, just that little gap in time, 74 to 78, or 1974 to 1980, okay, 1974 to 1980, that's 6 years. Okay, 2 of those years, I was incarcerated. So I can't add that to the equation. Let's just say 1974 to 1976, from 1978 to 1980 is when I get my first job getting paid to perform automotive detailing. I liked it so much from the start. I already knew I was gonna do my best because I already been trying to do my best. Man, I done worked at a couple of auto salons in my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. I left Mobile, Alabama when I moved to Georgia. I lived in Georgia for 12 years. I worked at maybe 3 salons and all dealerships. I'd have been around some of all kinds of detailers it was to be around. Most of them done it for the money, but then a lot of them done it because they like the idea of the outcome or something. Turning something that look old to something looking new, or making it look as good as they could possibly make it look, to the point to where they was mindset on doing a detail was to try to make it look new as possible. All right, I've come to Washington State in 1994. I work at a couple salons and I get my first job at an automotive dealership in October of 1994. And like I said, I moved here in September 94. Since then, I've worked at numerous dealerships on the 4 South as Tacoma, 4 North as the Royal Avenue, Shoreline. I done worked east for as Bellevue. I done worked in the Canton, Renton area, the Seattle area several times, and I'm currently working in the city of Seattle as an automotive detailer. I done seen so many automotive detailing come and go. What bothers me the most is when you get a raw recruit. A raw recruit detailer that never detailed for a damn living. He might have never detailed a vehicle in his own, a vehicle of his own, or a vehicle period. He might have not even never cleaned a bicycle. The most he might have cleaned was his bedroom. You couldn't get a more of a raw recruit than that. But he got the heart. He tells you, he looks you dead in the eyes and he tells you he want to be an automotive detailer, right? At that point, it's up to the person that got the experience to work with that raw recruit and show that raw recruit everything he possibly know about automotive detailing. Some of the things that instructor gonna teach that damn raw recruit might be some things he's uncomfortable with, might be some things he don't like doing, but it's some things that raw recruit need to know because he want to make this raw recruit completely rounded as an automotive detailer. completely rounded, where if that guy leave that location, and regardless where he go, a salon he do, mobile he work at, dealership after dealership after dealership, if he mention your name, you supposed to be proud that he mentioned your name and the quality of work that you instill in that automotive route recruit, detailing route recruit, supposed to show what you showed him, what you taught him. That's what you should want, right? Believe it or not, I've been in the automotive detailing trade for over 40 years. And I've trained my share of people. But I have trained more people in the state of Washington the last 31 years I've been here. And out of the people that I've trained the last 31 years in this state, believe it or not, I've trained under 10 people. Because I'm very selective about who I train. Now, don't get me wrong. I done gave a lot of helpful hints. I done worked with a lot of guys. I done damn watched guys buff. I done helped them prepare cars to get ready to buff. I done helped them with their preference. I done buff cars for them. I done let them watch me buff cars during my buffing process, and they watching me. I'm telling them why I did what I did, what steps I took, from the pads to the buffers to the creams. I try my best to be as explainable as possible because I'm knowledgeable. I'm knowledgeable of the automotive detailing trade. I love the trade. The worst thing that's going to happen to me is happening to me right now. I've gotten old. So it's only going to be so much longer that I'm going to be able to physically do what I'm doing for automotive detailing. I'm 64 years old. I feel good. And I'm still automotive detailing, but one day I might get up out of bed and I might get out wrong, or I might get out of the bed and can't bend properly, whatever. I still have a certain way I want to be known as. Not just a hard worker. Not just known as a person that cared about the trade of automotive detailing. I want to also be known that you could tell by the way I move, the way I perform the job, the way I perform automotive detailing, the way I perform my everything, despite what people may have said, from my interior detailing to my outside prepping, including rims, fender wells, and door jams, and trunk jam, and hood compartment, to complete buffing. I want to be known, and I've been displaying that I'm a complete detailer. It's not my fault that people chimed in on certain parts of the automotive detailing that they see me do, and they want to think that's all I could do. That's on them. But I tell anybody that ever worked around me long enough, no, I am a complete automotive detailer. Not just a complete automotive detailer. I dabbed in reconditioning because I've owned a lot of old school cars, and a lot of the reconditioning work from stage one to wet sanding to priming to fixing rust from the where it normally occurs in the 60 and 70 model cars in the front and back windshield. I'd have done that. I'd have damn did interior work. I'd have even done engine work. I have damn did motor work, mainly on Buick 350 cars. I've done a couple of Buick 455 big blocks. But most of the old schools I have cars I've owned that was General Motors are what they consider domestic cars with Buicks. I worked on every last one of those cars, and I did a whole lot of engine work on them myself. So my skills go a lot further than just automotive detailing, right? But you better believe what part of automotive detailing that I do, it shows how I feel about it. And it's really doing past hurt me. It's damn gotten to the point what the young generation call irking. It's irking me to see some of the things, some of the skills that's not being taught to the raw recruit to make them represent being a good automotive detailer. Right? It really hurts me, and it's coming from people with a lot of experience that doing the training. They only teaching them what they think they should know, or they only teaching them what they like doing. They don't teach them nothing that they don't like doing, regardless if they might need to know it or not. They just don't want to teach them because they don't want to do it themselves, so they don't teach them to be compatible. It's just a damn waste. And one of the hardest things I found to do is to retrain somebody that's already being trained to do something a certain way. I know I have tried to work with detailers that was already trained and try to show them better ways to do things, especially in interiors. And they basically they seem inspired, but when I go back, they go back to doing it the way they was taught originally. Same thing about their buffing. They might damn it like what they see when they see you doing your exterior buff jobs, your interior details, or watching you doing a full detail on a car. But 9 times out of 10, if they was retrained and they set in their ways where they been retrained 3 years or 2 years or more, regardless how much they might watch you do and like what you do, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to incorporate that in what they do, regardless how much they admire it or like it. It's because it wasn't taught or presented to them at first. And they learned how to do it one way, and that's all they want to do. They might admire different other ways, but they won't do other ways. That's what makes them one-dimensional detailers, and they'll never become an innovator like EJ, the Automotive Detail Innovator, because I innovated myself with the times. It's a lot of things I know how to do I won't do or don't have to do, but I'm at the end of my rainbow. I'm not a damn raw recruit. This is EJ signing off. Peace.